So it kind of depends. We don't collect the electronic waste regularly from like things like the computer labs and whatnot. But at the end of the year, we do take donations from students, and oftentimes we'll get electronics in that pile, and then we just take those down to Goodwill and we donate them. And they have a facility there that is more equipped to disassemble any broken electronics, and anything that's still working obviously gets resold. We do sometimes, but not regularly. Um, like I said, at the end of the year is when we usually get our electronics, and Rich, my boss, will contact companies around town and just let them know what we have, and if we get like mini fridges or anything like that, sometimes we'll send them to them downtown. A lot of mini fridges, a lot of microwaves. Um, we also occasionally get computers, although not very often. We get a lot of the cathode ray tube TVs, the big style. And then occasionally we'll get something from the chemistry department, like a drying oven or something along those lines. That's pretty infrequent though. Honestly, I don't. That's a very good question. I would assume that they would go through the building over here, campus services. We just don't have the manpower or the equipment to be breaking down all those computers, and sometimes there's like some hazardous stuff in there as well. So we just can't handle the volume that we would need from the computer labs and things like that. Nothing in the works right now. Yeah, I don't really think that we have the ability to recycle a lot of electronics just because all of that stuff needs to be broken down.
Right.
It's always, electronics are always composite materials, and while there may be a significant portion of it that is recyclable, there's also things that are potentially toxic in there, and we just don't have the staff or really the equipment around here to be breaking down a lot of electronics. Yeah, I think that would be an excellent idea. I don't know if we've done anything like that on a large scale in the past. Um, that would be a better question for my boss, Rich. But yeah, I think that would probably be a good suggestion. I'll even bring it up to him next time we see him. Any electronics that we get, we usually will save until the end of the year and then take them to Goodwill. We do partner with some other places downtown, but I don't think they take any electronics other than the place you mentioned, the
Electronics.
yeah, that place. Oh, years and years, a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably upwards of a decade. I don't know exactly. I know vaguely that they have a contract with a more efficient electronics recycler. I don't know exactly who,
Right. Okay.
but I know that anything that they can't resell, they will just put it on a truck, send it down to them, and then they can break it down and recycle it. Usually at the end of the year, we take 4 or 5 truckfuls
Oh, okay.
down to Goodwill, but I would say only maybe a quarter of that, maybe even less, is electronics. It's mostly clothing and furniture. We do get a lot of those cathode ray TVs, though. That's probably our biggest
Okay.
electronics. At the end of the year, we set up special collection sites all around campus and all of the dorm rooms that are just for reclaimed things that to be donated to Goodwill. We try not to get any recyclable materials in those collection piles and just get the stuff that can be resold. We talk to the people that do in charge of the housing. We generally will coordinate with the OAs, and we put up a lot of signs and stuff. Usually we have a pretty good turnout, It has a way of getting around word of mouth and whatnot. And when we set up those locations for collection, we try and make them pretty conspicuous. Occasionally, but not very much. Mostly we're targeting it at freshmen who just have stuff that they want to get rid of. A lot of the times people overpack their first year of college and then they're looking at getting an apartment or something and they just have a lot of stuff to get rid of. TVs that they don't have space for. Mini fridges. I mean, in the dorms a mini fridge is nice, but when you get an apartment, you have a regular sized fridge, there's no really need to hang on to them. So those kind of things are stuff that people are pretty donate pretty readily, and we just pick them up from the location in the dorms. Yeah. They're just in the dorms, and they're only at the end of the year. We put them out just for that event, and then take them away. We put a few outside one year, like near the outdoor depots. That didn't work well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the weather was just too
gosh,
much,
right.
and a lot of the stuff ended up
Right.
getting ruined. You know, anything that we can keep out of the landfills is a success.
Right.
So if we don't get all of it, it's best not to dwell on
Yeah.
the little bit that you miss.
I think that's about all we have.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you so
Yeah.
much for your
If you
time.
ever have any other questions about recycling, feel free to contact us.